I'm alive! Ah! I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm not okay. Ah! Okay. Shush. So, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, okay? I played Rise of the Ronin. I finished playing Rise of the Ronin. Dear God, this is probably the second most disappointing game for me. Yeah. Here's the thing. Honestly, the first thing I have to say before I get into any of the tech issues, before I get into any of the neat concepts that weren't very well executed, I have to basically go with what is the perfect, flawless, god tier description for my whole experience. Anything this game has been done better before, either by separate companies or by this own company. The reality is that this game, basically, its concept is Sekiro stealth and assassinations mixed with basically Neo 1 and 2 combat. The thing is that this is a great concept. It is. The problem is, though, is that it fails to do any of those things worth a damn, or very well, or very functionally, or very well balancedly, or just really anything involving an ali or illy at the end. It just doesn't do them well. That's how we have to start this. With the fact that anything this game has that you can think of is done better somewhere else. No, really. You want an open world game? Okay. Here are some games that have far more interesting and honestly far more filled in open worlds. Some of them weren't very good games at first, but have become basically infinitely better. For example, Cyberpunk has a better open world than this. Freaking Witcher 3 is a better open world than this, and it's not even a full open world. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a better open world than this. Skyrim, Oblivion, both are better open worlds than this. Wow. Yeah. Oh, what's that? You don't care about the open world? Oh, you don't care about the open world. Oh, you cared about the bonding and the romances, right? Well, that sucks ass. It's been done better in plenty of places. Hell, even Skyrim has done that shit better. You heard me right. Skyrim has done romances better than Rise of the Ronin. Where Rise of the Ronin is just as pathetic. The only difference is, at least in Skyrim, I got to see be a part of my own wedding, at least. Here, I get to fade to black. Glad one of us is laughing. I'm disappointed here, butt munch.
Well, I don't care about romances, so.
I do. Especially when they're going to have it in the game. Do it right. If you're going to add it in the game, give a crap. Don't make it tedious for the sake of being tedious. Don't make it fade to black. Do a single sentence, then fade to black again and be done. If it wasn't in the game at all, I wouldn't have minded it. But the fact that it is in the game and it is this bad to the point of making Skyrim's enemy, aren't ya, line look great by comparison is not a good thing. That is not an accomplishment to be proud of. That is where you should start being scared of how bad your team is or how bad your situation was. Now let's say you're someone who's like, oh, I don't care about that either. I don't care about the exploration or the open world. I don't care about romances or the bondings, even though both of those two things are massively tedious. And I do mean massively. Like just romancing a character, which is far quicker than maxing out or improving a faction. Even that takes about 6 to 8 hours of back and forth between do a mission, give a gift. Mission, gift, mission, gift, mission, gift, mission, gift, mission, gift, mission, gift for 6 to 8 hours. That's not enjoyable. That's not very fun. I don't even worry it gets worse before it gets worser still. And then before it finally just shoots itself in the stomach and foot. We'll get there. Here's the thing. Even if you're someone who's like, oh, I only care about the combat. Yeah, that's also done better in so many different places. Skyrim, Oblivion, Code Vein, Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1, Sekiro, Bloodborne, freaking Ghost of Tsushima, Neo 1, Neo 2. All those do that's basically either the same combat or a better variation of this combat. And like I said, we get worse before we get worse still, because time for us to get worse before we get worse still. Ah, this game has no reason to be $70, $60, and sure as fuck shouldn't be on PS5, since honestly it looks like it's pretty much from PS4 era. And I do mean early PS4, like when things were still PS3 graphics, but slightly better. Yeah. Especially if you look at the grass, that's some PS2 shit. That's some PS2 shit, baby. That's late PS2 to early PS3 at its best when it comes to grass. Now time to get worse. Dear God, this game literally cannot stop but just going on a downward incline until it nosedives into the dirt. They have a mechanic that's supposed to be kind of like Neo's spiritual guardian form or their yokai state, where you go into the state of where you're doing tons of damage. Tons of damage to yourself, though, as well, because it's burning you alive and is going to get you closer to death every time you use it. Yay, I get to do a tiny bit more microscopic damage and have a chance to set my opponent on fire. Meanwhile, I'm taking fuck tons of damage per second. Literally, even with my huge, ungodly health pool, I still cannot use this thing in full without it possibly killing my ass. Great. Well, what about weapons, right? What about weapons, right? That can sometimes help out with the combat. Oh, you stupid little idiot. Nah, that's not how that works, fool. Here's the thing: is that honestly, weapons are pretty freaking crap. They are. I'm sorry, but honestly, I think only really weapons really worth considering are bare knuckles brawling or the freaking oxtail blades. Every other weapon that they got here honestly has some really stupid shit attached to it. You see, when the pretty much all of combat boils down to the same thing. I remember that. There's pretty much all combat boils down to the same loop. Parrying when someone tries to stab me or grapple me. Utilize a full chain of hitting square. Use a skill to then extend how much I can hit someone, because I can go then into that skill into a quick flash attack. Rinse, recycle, repeat till end credits. That's the combat loop. Now there are vortex abilities. They're not that great. They're pretty meh. And there are the martial skills, which are pretty meh. The only thing really that's advised or really worth a damn using is just parrying and normal attacking into a skill, into a flash attack, repeat. That's it. And that's regardless of what weapon you have. None of that matters. Your primary weapon means F all. You will be doing the same methodology, the same way of doing it from start to end. It will never deviate. It will never change. It will never get better. That is the experience at its whole. Which honestly, if the skills actually were worth an F, or if the vortex things didn't kind of just not have such a disgusting line. Like they had, I think I only experienced like one that had not a good, an acceptable animation. You gotta remember that each one of those things is an animation you have to wait on for it to finish doing before you can do your next move. Well, by then, my opponent's already countered it and probably smacked my ass around a bit. Not great. Furthermore, it doesn't help that they have proficiencies. And this is where things get really bad. Like, especially bad for weapons. There is not a single damn point to proficiency any of the weapons other than barehanded. Why? Because when you barehand and you gain proficiency in that, you gain increases to your health, your overall ki total, which is basically your stamina, your damage, and the ki damage. And the only other thing you get is skill points. That's it for 25 levels. You're getting those. Well, if I go with, for example, a freaking saber, I'm not getting any health from that at all. I'm getting some ki, not much. I'm getting some attack damage, not much. I'm getting some ki attack damage increase, not much. I'm getting boosts to martial skill abilities, flash damage, and vortex damage. Reductions in consumptions for each one of those as a separate skill itself. So by the time you've gotten to 25 with that, you're actually fuck tons weaker than the person who's bare knuckles brawling. And that's the laughable bit. You have it is awful if you do not have bare knuckles brawling as at least a secondary method of fighting. If you don't have your second slot or your first slot as empty-handed, you're going to have low health. That's pretty much unavoidable. You're not going to have a jack shat of health. You're not going to have a lot of ki. That's just unavoidable. You're just going to be far weaker than someone who does have either just pure dedication to the empty-handed fighting style, or at least has it as well as a secondary thing. Yeah. Then there's the secondary weapons, such as guns and bows. Oh, and the shuriken. And earthen pot. Problem here is that these honestly suck. Sure, there are perks you can purchase to make them a little bit better, but the numbers of increase are so damn tiny to the point where honestly it's laughable. Why in the Quaker F should I try and even so much bother maxing out that crap when I could instead just dump more time into beating people unconscious and gaining more health, more attack of both varieties, more overall stamina. It's just nonsense. Arguably, the Oxtail's a tad bit better because it doesn't have the freaking vortex crap. It doesn't have those boosts at all, so that helps a little. I still say it's still kind of crap. And we still only get worse from here. I wish I was bullshitting. Like, hell, I wish I was bullshitting so bad that even my girl has left. She ran. She bailed out while she could. She fled like she stole shit. Oh no, she's still there. Oh, she must be eating or some shit then. Okay. But yeah. That or she's just trying to hide from embarrassment about her around me. It could be both. It could be both. Now.
No, I got the pinto beans here.
I have no clue what she just said, honestly. I'm going deaf.
Pinto beans here.
Is it just me or does she sound like she's saying pinto beans? Actually, can you even hear this shit? We'll find out later. Otherwise, I just look like I'm mentally fucked up. Which is on brand. Ultimately, by the time all is said and done, we still only get worse. And worse. And then we just arrive at WTF is this garbage. We really do arrive at that level. Now, here's the thing is, honestly, these are all things that are bad. They are not good things. They do not benefit the game. But while I won't be able to go into all the good things, I am going to tell you there is some things to bring up at least. Thank God. But before I get into that, let's get into the worser thing. Okay? If you want to upgrade your character's perks, get more stuff to boost your stuff, well, I have bad news for you. You have to do it two different ways. There's skill points, which you can get from leveling. That one's perfectly fine. There's no issue there. The real issue is the other asshole in the room. This dude, some douchebag, decided, you know what? Instead of gaining these stat-related skill points by, increasing the respective stat, instead, let's make it so in order to get these things, people have to spend days, weeks even, grinding away. You want to get every single one of these things? Good luck, stupid. You'll be spending fucking forever grinding away. And you won't just be grinding just district area bonds. You'll be grinding district area bonds. You will be grinding ally bonds. And you will be grinding faction bonds. And you'll have to hope you find them out and about in the frickin' world. And you'll have to do activities. In other words, go spend a couple of weeks dicking around, or you're not going to get that friggin' perk. Oh, what's that? You really need that perk for your build? Too bad. Fuck you. That's the game experience. Grind. With grind. To grind. So I can grind more for the grinding that I've already grinded while grinding. And mind you, this is a problem that is, mind you, at its worst and its most unacceptable when it comes down to stuff like faction bonds. Faction bonds are fucking sickening, okay? They are disgusting. They are fucking awful. I beat the game after 32 hours, and my overall faction bond for Ronin was a fucking 4. Barely just got to 4, I should add. My bond for Pro Shogunate, which I wound up siding with more often than Anti-Shogunate, that was only at a 2. Halfway 2 by the end of the game. Anti-Shogunate, which I didn't side with as much, but still sided with on a pretty acceptable number of situations, that was the starting of 2. Now, here's another thing, is that the game doesn't explain something. You can make the Pro Shogunate, Anti-Shogunate one a little bit less bullshit if you are, as you progress through the game, buying and selling from them in mass. If that'll help you out a ton. But the game really doesn't tell you that. It just tells you about discounts, really, from my knowledge. I have no desire to re-rent the game or really ever touch the thing again. So if I'm wrong, I do apologize. If I missed something, I do apologize. But I don't think I missed anything. I don't think so. And even so, that doesn't change much. It's still toxically grindy. Even if you are purchasing and selling shit from them in mass, it's still a disgusting ass grind. There's 10 levels to it. And it doesn't help that, honestly, those two are the more, I wouldn't say good or forgiving. I just say, I won't throttle you or fire you if you were under my employ. But the freaking Ronin faction is an absolute piece of shit. 32 hours, and all it amounted to was being halfway of level 4 out of 10. And it did not help that the rewards, honestly, for the first 4 levels just sucked dick. No, I don't give a fuck about your gestures in a single player game. Oh, sorry, no. It does have a multiplayer component. And by multiplayer component, I mean Neo 1 and 2 ripped off exactly 1 for 1. Well, maybe that's just bad luck, I guess, maybe. Maybe that's the issue. I got bad luck. I don't know. It's just not, it's not compelling. It's not interesting. It's not fascinating. And honestly, I feel like Neo 1 and 2, their multiplayer was slightly superior than this. Oh, look, she left. Okay. But yeah, ultimately speaking, it's just still doesn't stop on this downward spiral, because you gotta remember is that you're getting gestures for these faction things. You're just getting gestures. That's all it is. That's all that amounts to. Nothing more. Nothing else here or there. You're getting gestures and a tome of enlightenment. Basically, you're getting one skill point and just a dump of gestures for like 3 levels. On the 4th level, I think you get a shitty spear that was like, I think 40 points below what I was using minimum. I think it might have actually been 50 now that I think about it. So, not great. Uh, Still somehow just as if it's not bad enough that all this, it still just kind of, for me, gets worse and worse. Because in this game, RNG loot system, like what Neo 1 and 2 had, is actually worse here. Because even when you do apply something to try and boost your odds of getting that specific piece of gear, it's 2% and it's kind of just smoke up your ass. It really is. Uh, I have managed, despite the fact that I have high proficiency in oxtail blades and I have equipped something onto my hut that's supposed to increase my odds of finding oxtail blades by 2%, I found hundreds of katanas, hundreds of odachis, hundreds of glaives, hundreds of spears, freaking hundreds of paired swords. Like, I literally think I only got maybe about barely a dozen oxtail swords. Even after equipping it, I barely got a dozen of those things. Barely being the keyword. Yeah. That's sucks. That's kind of one of the things I hate most about these RNG systems. I hate them because they're never about, okay, what does the player use most, or what is the player proficient in, or something where it's like, hey, vote for which thing you'd like. No, it's just some random crap, and it could be ranging anywhere from something that's above your level, or above your power level, at your level, at your power level, or below. At but F random. I was doing level 48 missions even, and I was getting shit for like fucking 39. Maybe even I think the lowest I got was like a 36. Something that was like 70 points behind the weapon I'm actually using at that time. Uh, Honestly, I kind of want to bring up the game's only good thing it has, but the problem is that because of how just small and not really all that great when everything else isn't functioning properly, I might as well just save it for the end. I might as well. There's just no point. Ultimately, another problem with this game is just that it's not very well finalized. I've had so many times where opponents spawned in, got to watch them slowly blink into existence out of nowhere, lag, frame rate dropping, texture pop in. I had 2 crashes. One of them was dumb as hell. One of them was because too much fire was being used in the area. I'm not shitting you. Using the flamethrower while another dude's throwing fire bombs at me and my team basically caused the thing to crash. There was another time where honestly just the thing crashed just for no reason. Like I can't figure out what the effing reason was. I just turned the system on so I know it's not overheating. There really wasn't a ton of special effects. I was just riding my horse going to my next location, and that was about it. Apparently, that's all it took to be done. So, great. I have seen lip syncing just stop working for random and for long periods. Like I think the longest lasting one I saw was for 2 or 3 hours. I can't remember which. Straight, where characters' lips, even though they would go to a new character and it'd be a new scene, their lips wouldn't move. Voice acting, now we go to another problem, which is that voice acting is inconsistent. For the MC, they can't decide, do we want our MC to talk or do we want him to be silent? The problem when you do this is that if you're going to make your MC silent, you have to give a strong supporting cast, and the dialogue options have to be worth a damn. You, Missy, go to the bathroom. Quit waiting.
I'm going. I'm going.
Back to you people. Ultimately, the um, the voice acting just, if you're gonna do voice acting for your character, do voice acting. Do it like you actually mean it. Do it throughout the whole game. If you're not gonna do it, strong supporting cast, worth a damn dialogue options, and that's where we have to go into our next other big problem. The game's dialogue options suck ass half the time. Like, honestly, to the point of where both options mean the same thing or have the same result no matter what you say. And the result, and what they say to you after you say this stuff that basically means the same thing or has the same end result is the same as well. Well, if you're just going to make it so they're the same, don't bother wasting either of our time or your money doing a freaking dialogue option for nothing. Just do a full on cutscene then instead. And make it one smooth transition instead. Duh. I really should. A small part of me is just thinking I should start charging people for giving them the most common sense logic. Like, honestly. This is a problem in just about any game that does this, honestly, where they can't decide talk yes, talk no. It's just pick one and make that one good. If you're not going to do either one and you're going to try and do both, and it doesn't work. It just never works. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. The only times where you can get away with it, where you can make it work, is if the dialogue option you're picking is being said. It doesn't get said. Like, literally, I can count on one hand how many times I actually have heard my character say shit. No, really. Great. Great. Well, so voice acting is inconsistent. Lip reading, not so great. And all these other things. Well, okay. Uh, what about character writing, right? What about character writing? Yeah, honestly, whoever was in charge of the character writing, thank you. Honestly, you're the only one of three motherfuckers who showed up to work that day. I wish I was bullshitting, but honestly, out of the entire game, there are only about three specific positions that I feel like showed up to work at all. At all. Damn. Honestly, character writing is about probably the best thing I can say about this game, is that there are characters who I found relatively interesting enough. Sure, not was even half of them as compelling as probably would be advisable. No. Were they at least compelling enough to the point where I didn't want to pull my hair out, though, unlike some games? Yes. F yes. Small victories, I'm afraid. Okay? That's what we're stuck with right now. Which is suckage of unmitigated levels. Okay. Next up, honestly. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but this is stupid. This is actually laughably stupid. Within the first, not even 2 minutes, first minute of the freaking opening cutscene before you even start the game, there are multiple plot twists already spoiled for you. From the very beginning, multiple things are already spoiled. Great. I could bring up how the character creator, but honestly, it's more or less the exact same character creator from Neo 2, just minus the yokai bits. That's literally all it is. Um, I'm trying to think of some nice, even now. I ain't got shit. Alright, I really don't got much. I'll get into the last one later. I'm just gonna tell you right now that do I feel like this game is worth $60 or $70? Honestly, not a shot in hell. I feel like charging $50 is a bit on the much side, honestly. Especially since it's 32 hours and I did a pretty decent meaty chunk of side quests and character related stuff, and not to mention the grind that was trying to max out a character so I could trigger the romance. Like, honestly, if I remove the bullshit, the grind, and the couple of times where I just crashed during the day while I was playing, I'm gonna tell you right now, this game is maybe about, maybe if you push it and you try to go as fast as you can, it's probably maybe like 8 hours. 8 hours for $70. Yeah, one that has all these many issues, all these design decisions that honestly don't benefit it, and we still haven't gotten into the other crappy design decision. Right at the start of the game, they give you a freaking hang glider to glide about like a flying squirrel. The problem is that this isn't in the era of Japan where tall buildings are pretty much everywhere. Oh no! This is during the era in where the West was starting to exert some control, and I wouldn't say control actually, trying to exert influence over Japan. Same thing with Britain and so on. That's where the fucked up part starts to chime in though. Because it's the era in where the West is kind of bleeding into Japan pretty aggressively, that means a number of large buildings, giant pagodas, massive castles. There's not much of that. You're not going to be having much of that. So that means that your freaking glider is pretty much trash. Has no freaking purpose, really. Aside from, ooh, I got to glide for 10 seconds. Oh, yay. You see this building here that I grapple hooked onto because grappling hook sucks and can only be used on specific grappling points that are predetermined on every fucking building that allows it, and there's not many of those anyways? You know that shit? Yay, I can glide from that building to that building. Wee. Wee. Oh, don't you worry, it gets so much worse. Because of course it does. You want to make it so your glider can become from abject, worthless trash to just a steaming turd? Well, then go grind and find books so you can deliver them to the tech developer dude who will friggin' enhance your glider. Oh, don't worry. If you want to get it fully maxed out, all you need is 50 books. 50! Because fuck you players. I should dick slap the shit out of you as revenge. That's why I should beat the shit out of you with my own freaking pecker as a punishment, asshole. Hell no. 50 fucking books, really? Really, you sadistic, sick motherfucker. What the fuck is wrong with you? You absolute disgrace. I should spit in your face, you little effing bitch. Ugh. Disgusting. And yet, somehow, that's not enough. You heard me right. That's not enough. You like that flamethrower you get? You like that flamethrower? You know, that one that does fuck all damage and does not stun lock your opponents at all and only can burn your opponents and cause a burning status effect that's pretty much over and done with in like a couple of moments? You know that thing that does jack shit of damage and is actually outpaced by a freaking shuriken or a gun or a bow or a pistol or a blade or your bare fists? You know, that shit. Well, if you want to actually upgrade that thing to maximum so it can actually be worth an F, 100 books. Let me just spoil something for you here. Do you think you get these books through leveling? If so, psh, stupid. No. No, you don't. How dare you think that for a second? Oh no. You have to meet specific conditions or find them by grinding treasure chests in the world. Oh, ain't that a little cool trick, huh? I just didn't know how that would work. It's such a neat little trick, ain't it? Yeah, no, screw you. Honestly, that's kind of the thing that's repeated more than anything else in this game is that everything that it has for mechanics, design, are done better somewhere else by a massive amount, or everything is a grind fest laced within a grind fest. Like, I I actually started to miss Modern Warfare 3 and 2. I started missing fucking COD. And if you don't believe me that I normally don't miss COD, ask her. Do I miss COD ever?
Nope.
If she's not good enough, go talk to Smabsy. She'll say the same damn shit. Okay? Nah, I don't miss COD. Look, I may have this weird, complicated love-hate relationship with COD, but I don't miss it. This is when I missed it. For the first time ever, I missed the whole freaking running around like a headless chicken shit, okay? I started to miss that crap. I suck at search and destroy, and I cannot handle it from stress or anxiety point. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was wanting to play search and destroy a ton, suddenly. Do I avoid this thing like the plague normally?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I think my most enjoyed moments are when I actually put the controller down and stopped playing Rise of the Ronin. I think those are my best moments, my happiest moments even, when I stopped playing. Because then the disappointment could have a chance to ease off. But I forced my way through, goddammit. I forced my way through all 32 hours of my hell. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's not bad enough that, honestly, all those issues, or the fact that, honestly, the stealth in this game sucks so much ass to the point of where Zelda Breath of the Wild's instant fail, crappy stealth missions were damn near godly by comparison. You have no instant fail for your stealth, and yet your stealth is so bad, I'd rather play the game where stealth was an instant fail. That is quite the feat. Not one you should be proud of. At all. That's like where you are ashamed. This is where you talk to your team and you tell them, what the fuck, everybody? Come on, let's get our heads out of our ass here. But that's still not the end of it. Factions honestly kind of suck dick anyways. But it doesn't help that honestly, the bigger problem is that pretty much by the last chapter or two, you are now forced to pick a faction. Pro-shogunate or anti-shogunate. You don't get to stay neutral. That sucks ass. Especially since if you're going to give me this whole dilemma of neither side is truly good or truly just, then you should probably have the brain cells to give me an option where I either A, am remaining neutral and side with neither, or by remaining neutral manage to fix both sides' bullshit. I don't get to do either of those things. Pick a side, I had no choice, and since I was forced at damn near gun, knife, brick, and grenade point, I wound up going with Pro Shogunate, because fuck me. great. I will say, adding in these pro-shogunate and anti-shogunate dialogue options for a short time did kind of help to alleviate some of the bad dialogue, but dear God, did that ship not last and did it sink fast. Like, honestly, it was like watching something. It was almost like watching the movie Titanic, but on speed. Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to watch the movie Titanic stuck on fast forward? That's how fast this thing was sinking. I couldn't even have a chance to freaking blink. Don't let go, Jack. Oh, no. Jack is gone. Jack is gone. That's just still not the end of the nightmare, though. I don't. It's not the end of the nightmare. It's it's not the end of the nightmare. They decided, instead of trying to end this game on a satisfying, like actual hard, good, like solid end, and then leaving it at that, they decided to sequel bait. Which is bad enough on its own. Especially since they sequel baited with all the tact, deftness of either a tactical nuke, or to put it in more video gamey terms, with the equivalency subtleness of Saints Row 2020. Anyone who's seen my review for that knows my thoughts on how that was handled. Yeah. No. But that also ties into another problem that's also fucking massive. Because of course, we can't have good things. Or at least that's the only reasoning I can find behind any of these decisions. Have you ever seen Fairy Tail? Don't bother, I'm going to give you a perfect summary of it. Plot armor, the anime. Meet Plot Armor, the video game. That's what this game is. It is 24/7 fucking plot armor. Go stop a character from trying to kill someone. Go to try to kill them. You don't get to kill them. They get to run away. Over and over and over and over. Ah! Spoiler alert here. Okay. There's this little thing called rules of threes. Ready? On the third time, not only do you make it the last time you do something, but you make it so outrageous or so big or so dynamic, and then you never do it again. Apparently, they decided to make up rule of eights. Because characters will just get to leave. Just get to run away. Even though the entire gameplay experience has been beating it into your head that you use sword, someone dies. You use fists or wood, someone live. That's not at all how the actual game functions, though, truly, when it comes down to outside of combat. There are literally dozens of forced story moments where things are pre-decided for your ass. What's that? You want to slit this bitch's throat because she tried to kill every innocent person within a 50-mile radius? How dare you? No, they get to live. Fuck. I literally can count on one hand with only one finger how many times I was given an option to kill someone and it actually meant anything. On one effing finger. Once. And not anywhere else. In fact, honestly, this game probably would have only been about 4 hours if it wasn't for the plot armor. I wish I was bullshitting. It's literally just 4 hours ballooned into 32 because plot armor bullshit, forcing your hand to do things you weren't wanting to do or didn't intend to do or don't match up with your playstyle at all throughout your experience. And then we have to go into the AI. Ally AI is awful. You will stealth. They will not. Their idea of stealth is, okay, cool, I silently took down this one opponent. Nobody notices. Charge! No, you dumbass! I'm stealthing. No, God, no, stop. Ah! That's the summary. The flawless summary. It doesn't matter what way you did that silent kill. Oh, you did it with a bow, and no one else was around to hear, and no one notices you, and no one even saw the body? Too bad! Dumbass 1 and Dumbass 2 are now going to charge in half-cocked like a friggin' psychopath. They're going to make COD players look like the most calm, rational, well-thought-out badasses. When you start to make COD Team Deathmatch nutcases look like freaking god tier of patience, you've done fucked up your AI. Period. It's either that, or the freaking chicken with their head cut off dumbass COD player was the one who made the AI. In other words, why did you hire them, you stupid idiot? It doesn't help that they have a system. They have a system in here where they give boosts to stuff. The problem is more than half of these suck ass. Guess what? Boosting up stealthing is all great and all that until the AI decides to blitzkrieg charge random nobody who didn't know you were even there. Which happened 8 times in a row on the same effing mission. I was so fed up by the time that mission was done, I actively wanted to murder that character. But because of plot armor bullshit, I didn't get to murder them. I can't even take out my revenge, for fuck's sake. And yet, somehow, from bad to worse, as is the trend with this game, honestly. How is, honestly, just the story itself by the end? Does it feel good? Fuck no. That's pretty bad. How much it ties into other problems within is also pretty bad. But it still gets worse in that same regard, though. Here's what your big payoff is after the freaking stupid ass freaking sequel baiting. Your cutscenes are not actual. Your end cutscene is not voice acted. It's not meaningful. It's not impactful. It's just showing you some characters you killed or characters who died with the cutscene that they die in with a freaking gray monotone coloring. And all silent. You don't get to hear them say nothing at all. I wanted to say that music is something that's good about this game, but honestly, that would be a lie. Because music is inconsistent. There are times where during certain cut scenes, it'll be fine. But then in gameplay, it's like, oh, well, this is abject silence. There is no traveling music. There is no music in the towns. There's nothing. Just silence. I actually started to miss Dragon's Dogma 2's silence. Because at least in that game, the silence was being mitigated and undermined by your pawns who would never shut the fuck up. There was at least that. Here it's just silent to be silent. And that's the whole game, really. If you think Dragon's Dogma 2 repeats their lines at all, don't run with any of the AI then in this game, because they will repeat lines every 10 seconds. The same line for the same thing over and over again. You stealth kill somebody, they're going to say something that they already said the last time you stealthed. The only way you can mitigate this is to never take the same characters. The problem is that that's not very rewarding for you from a gameplay perspective at all. It's actually punishing, because there are specific characters who have good abilities and a decent sized hefty chunk that have really not very good abilities, and then a chunk that have just crap, worthless trash abilities. I don't need boosts to crafting when I can't really craft. Shocker, I know. I don't need boosts to item acquisition because I've given up on your fucking items by then. I've long given up on them. Somewhere after my 200th, 300th katana, when what I'm still needing is the oxtail sword that I haven't gotten for multitudes of damn near almost dozen hours. You know. They have an upgrade system for weapons. This is also a bad thing, because it's literally just the same upgrade system from Neo 1 and 2, but slightly worse. They have accessories that you can apply to give yourself some passives and some boosts. This is also from Neo 1 and 2, and once again is also worse. And now you need shit tons of books if you want to have more than one of these things. You want to have a full set? You a stupid motherfucker. Alright, go max out some dude's bond and go get about, I think it's 20. No, sorry, no. My bad. 24 inventions, which means you're going to need about, if you want to get it, probably about 40 books. Have fun with that. Now, sure, the dude can event stuff if you just do bonding events, but the problem is that that's still a pain in the ass. And we still get worse. Don't you worry. It gets worse still. This thing wants DLC. Pay for DLC. Sequel-based story, massively disappointing in every facet of gameplay. Awful fucking end cutscene to the point of being an absolute toxic joke. Awful romances that are shoved in because fuck it. You know what, let me just do you all a favor, okay? I'm just going to give you a score, and then I'm just going to list games that are all do either ask specific parts of this game better, or just do everything within this game better. Ready? Here we go. I'm going to tell you right now, this game at its highest, when its technical bullshit isn't getting involved, which is rare, I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is about a 4 out of 10. Below average, basically. There are some moments where, when the tech issue stops being a pain in the ass, where it's like, yay, I can finally see where you were going with this. But dear God, did you not finish this game? You needed another year off. Dear God, you needed to friggin' make your ending better. Dear God, you need to do this. Need that. Need this. Need that. Here, there, over there, there. Oh my God. Ultimately, though, if these things were better implemented instead of just half-assed and half-baked, like, honestly, I even said this to someone. I think it was probably my girl who had to hear it. But basically, the perfect summary for my whole experience of this game is, what if Neo 1 and 2 Ghost of Tsushima had really weak, limp dick, half-assed sex, and this was the end product of it? A product that, honestly, no one's happy with. The original workers probably are disappointed and possibly disgusted and regretful. And meanwhile, we're all just standing here now with this bundle of something. Heard? Regret? Lament? Laziness? I don't know. But now we're holding whatever this mistake is. And we have to just basically make it very clear that this was a fuck up. Don't you not never do this shit again. The fuck wrong with you? And then throw it to the side. Yes, I am using throwing a baby to the side as an analogy here. Look what you've done to me, you asshole. Ultimately, 4 out of 10. Here are games that are all, honestly, infinitely better at many things within this game. Ready? Skyrim, Oblivion, Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, Dragon's Dogma 1, Neo 1, Neo 2, Sekiro, freaking Ghost of Tsushima, Bloodborne, Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal, Trails of Cold Steel 1, Trails of Cold Steel 2, Trails of Cold Steel 3, Trails of Cold Steel 4. Oh boy. Code Vein, Pillars of Eternity, Pillars of Eternity 2, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. I can keep going. I could easily keep going. I could do this for days. I haven't even gotten to the Final Fantasy shit yet either. I haven't even touched that shit yet, and I can already tell you I can keep going for days. Just naming one after another thing that's better than this in pretty much most every facet of it. You know what's the really messed up part? A lot of those games I just mentioned are a fuck ton cheaper. Yeah, you heard me right. Last time I checked, there's at least 3 Trails of Cold Steel games that have been on sale on Steam for pretty decent droppage. There are Code Vein's pretty much negligible, like freaking what, maybe $10 often on Steam sales. Freaking, I think it's even on sale on PS4 last I looked too, dropping it from I think like $49.99, like all the way down to $29.99. Freaking. Failing that, if you're someone who's like, I just don't care about anything about this game, here's some professional advice. Never thought I'd say this, but go play COD. That's a first. She's laughing because she knows I have such a huge, long, complicated history with COD. Called Love You, Hate You, Dear God, Please Stop. Oh, die! And now we're back where I'm now, where I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? But still, COD. Go pick that up. I mean, obviously do it during a sale. Don't do it for full price, obviously. But that's still better worth your time than this was, for me. I could have been playing COD with that one. Instead, I played this and honestly wanted to stop so many times. But I figured, no, I've already missing a lot of games. There's also a lot of games I just don't have any interest in this year. So screw it, I might as well cover this one. And dear Lord, I wish I didn't. Especially since I was already like vehemently and endlessly disappointed with friggin' Dragon's Dogma 2. No, I will not do a review for that one because it sucks ass. In fact, I actually am actively not playing it intentionally because it's just not worth it. So yay! That's my state of existence right now. And I'm suddenly a little scared because she's typing shit. Which either means she's about to send something that's going to make me blush on camera, or worse. I'm going to hang up before she can have that chance, though. I will see you all next time. I run like hell. Arrivederci!